Hello and welcome to a very quick demonstration of the ArcSight ESM Web interface. This has always been around for, with the particular product itself, but with the advent of ESM 6.5, this has been further developed and expanded to add additional features and functionalities to bring it much more in line with an operational or analyst type role with regards to investigating and looking at log data and cases and so on. So I just wanted to give a very quick demonstration of what capabilities are provided with that. Now, I just logged into the system. We can see that there's some notifications have occurred. There's some cases have also been occurred. I can change this layout, but I'll just run with the default one for the moment. And the point is that I've usually probably received some form of notification, and they log into the system, and then I can just click on that to actually dig into the actual events themselves. So in this case, I can look at this particular event that's occurred. I can see there's a correlation. I can understand that there's something's occurred here, and I can actually go to the underlying base events and see what's occurred here. So I can scroll down. I can see this has come from a checkpoint firewall, and I can see all the relevant network addressing, categorization, relevant data there. Also, I can actually see this particular event as well. I can see this has actually come from a particular location, and it's a particular attack that's been picked up by our IPS system. So of course I could carry on doing an investigation and digging into any of this information as well, but of course at all points I actually have the ability to look at some of this data and dig into it as well in a little bit further detail. It's actually incredibly powerful as part of that. So it's actually very useful just me able to click through and view that data. What I also have is the ability to look at that data in what we call an active channel. So there are a number of active channels that are provided with the system, and you can of course customize those as well. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to look at one particular channel that we have set up. And there we go, we see some relevant information. That's what we can see as part of this. So we can see there's a whole bunch of events as they're occurring and so on. The great thing here is that this is an incredibly powerful way to both visualize the priority and frequency of that, which is based on the color at the top here, but also see the events underneath as well. So we can see there's a whole set of data. It's actually updating as I'm talking because it's a real-time event as well. And I can see the information accordingly. If I just want to pause that for a second, I can actually look at some of this data as well. The important thing here is that at all points, I actually have the opportunity to just click on that and then further dig into that particular IP address in this case to look at what's going on. And now we've got the actual data that's relevant to that particular filtered address, and we can see some further information that's going down. There's lots and lots of information, and specifically there's lots and lots of correlations have occurred, so we can start digging into and understanding what's going on there as well. The important thing is that I've actually got the opportunity to just step backwards and forwards through these tabs, so I don't have to go backwards and forwards through a web interface, and of course it then becomes very quick and very easy for me to go and visualize all that data as well. Of course, one of the other features that we've added as part of this is being able to look at some of these events themselves, for example, just highlighting that and then actually annotating them accordingly. So in this particular one, I've just picked an event at random here, but I could just annotate this particular event and say, all clear, done investigation. So that's okay. We can show that this is a final, and we can even allocate this to a particular user. So I'm going to actually allocate it to the admin user. Now, the important thing is here as well, of course, that annotation is fully customizable, and you could set that to be your own annotation with regards to incident handling of the actual events you want to see. So of course, we can do that annotation, but if we don't know where we're starting, we probably actually want to do some searching just on events and information across the system. And from the ESM 6.5 release, we've always had this ability to do in what we call a free text search on the log data as well. And we can do that through a similar interface that's available within the ArcSight Logger solution. Now you can see it's all fully integrated, and I can just go ahead and do a search and see all the log data. Now it's actually only just doing 10 minutes here, but I can see there's a whole lot of information. It's then incredibly powerful for me to just look at this data, and of course I can then quickly click, and it's updating and drilling down through that data. Just doing another search again. Now I can start to see and say, well, actually I'm interested in log data. Of course it's highlighting for me automatically. I could then look at further information to do with, say for example, checkpoints. So it's looking for checkpoint events and further looking at that data. So it's incredibly powerful, but of course I could actually just do this manually. So I could just do check, and it will come back with all relevant events that actually has the word check in it. So it's actually full free text. I could type usernames, I could do investigations, and I can look and search for the data. Of course, the important thing is I could actually save that search and view it at a later time, and look to even export this data as well to do some further analysis, maybe on an external tool, for example. Now, that was a very quick tour of the active channels and search capability, but don't forget, of course, it's got a full case management system built into it as well, so we can look at those cases, we can put information, we can tag the relevant events that have occurred with that particular event itself, even attach documents and provide notes, and then subsequently close and update all that case information too. We even have the ability to run reports too. So that was a very quick whistle-stop tour of the ArcSight ESM Web interface and some of the new features and capabilities that have been added to it in its most recent release. Thank you very much for your time.